Hey everybody, hope you're having an awesome day. I hope everybody had a fabulous end of the month. I know February was a short month, and what's really important is how you start your month. Really, I'm talking a little bit about the outside of this day 57, which is so critical. If you're going to have a powerful month, you got to start strong at the beginning. It's so important to do that. Most people wait always towards the end of the month and they get all stressed out. I know, because we talk with many people throughout the month, and this is one habit. Gosh, if you could change that one habit and just drive the growth earlier in the month, then you'll find you'll have a super productive month. You'll create some fun, exciting momentum, and you won't have that stress towards the end of the month. That's why I always say auto ship day one. That way you're really serious about building your business. Okay, so day 57, Eric Worre was with Dean Graziosi, and I guess he's having a major event with some key people. And like Eric said, it doesn't matter what level you are, you're always growing and learning when you're getting mentored. And he went to this special event. He spent thousands of dollars to be there. So they only spent a few minutes. He actually had Dean share some of his insights, and he actually gave one really important message. And I think all of us need to repeatedly hear this over and over and over, and how you deliver more value for people was one thing that they were both talking about. And the more value you bring to others, the more people will want. So when you're out there on social media trying to connect with new connections, or when you're meeting somebody face to face, rather than thinking about what you could get for them, think about the value that you could bring to them. A tip, an idea, something, and that's easily doable in conversation. And complimenting people is obviously the best thing to do, and always make it genuine for sure. But value, they were talking about. And I sent the PowerPoint slide on what he was talking about. And Dean was speaking about his daughter throughout the session, and that his daughter was playing basketball, and it's her first game of the year, and she's in high school, and she was chosen to lead, and they won. And the one thing that Dean said, which was really important, that played a huge factor in her growth, obviously, she's got an incredible dad as a mentor, but it's what you do when nobody else is watching. And that is important. That is a key important. It's what you do when nobody else is watching. So how we win in public is a direct reflection of what we do when nobody else is looking. Okay, so that is something that every single one of us, we need to work on a daily basis. And I talk about us too, because we're human beings just like everybody else. We've got a lot of responsibility on our plates building a global team. So we do have a lot of stuff that we got to get done on the side. But I'm telling you, I'd rather spend all my time doing the prospecting, inviting, following up. Because honestly, when you've been in it this long, this is the easiest part of building this business. But it starts somewhere. So you have to start regularly connecting with people, inviting them to information, following up, see what they like best about the information, and of course, moving them to a decision, right? And that's what we should be doing all the time. So what are you doing when nobody else is watching? What are you doing? Seriously, is getting real with ourselves. I think a lot of the time we don't get real with ourselves, and another day goes by and we don't get real again, and another day goes by. And then we say, oh, you know what, this stuff doesn't work. No, It's not that this stuff doesn't work. The problem is the person not doing the work. That's the problem. And blaming a company, blaming a product, blaming that something's late, blaming that my leader didn't do anything, that's going to get you nowhere in business. Nowhere. I don't care if it's network marketing or traditional business, whatever it is. Take responsibility, because it is your business. And what you do matters. And people below you are always watching you to see what you're doing, how you're supporting the team. And if you're not out there doing this on a regular basis, then you won't get the same credibility within your organization. And if you want to build a massive team, what you do matters every single day. So if you're not doing the things that are going to make a difference, then you're not going to get the results that you want. And so number one, it was, what are you doing when nobody else is watching? Are you sitting in front of the TV? Are you just doing nothing? Or are you actively building your business? Are you setting times in your schedules to put only for Max? You have to do that because life gets busy. And if Chris and I don't have schedules, it would be easy for both of us to lose a day. We both love structure, and we love structure because we're productive people and we want to get things done. And if that's not all mapped out in the day, it's so easy to get distracted. In today's world, it's so easy to get distracted. Just have your phone in front of you, you're done. But if you have a plan with your phone on how many connections you want to do on Facebook, how many connections you want to do on Instagram, maybe you want to do a live today somewhere, maybe you want to practice doing a reel, you never done it before, maybe you're on TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever it is, I don't care what platform, but if you have a plan getting on your phone, you're going to get results. All right, so it's doing the actions daily is going to get you where you need to go. And do it when nobody's watching. Okay, that's when you need to step up your game the most. Not when people are watching you, when nobody's watching. Because anyways, I can guarantee you people are watching. Either way they're watching because they'll know your numbers, right? And if you're not getting any numbers happening, then people know you're not working. Okay, so number two is, how many times have you said you really wanted it? How many times? I really wanted it, but you're not doing the actions to reach your goals. How many times have you said that? I think it's so important that we get real with ourselves because there's something stopping you. Okay, if you get excited, but nothing happens, there's a reason that's happening. Okay, so it's you know what I highly recommend is always sit down with your mentors. Don't ever think that your mentors don't have the time, because that's what a mentor is for. That's what a leader is for, is to help to move you, get through that stuck phase and to get into action. But you have to be serious about going into action, because one thing you don't want to do is waste people's time. I'm sure you hate wasting your own time. And the last thing you want to do is, ask somebody for something and not follow through with it. Okay, that's the last thing you want to do. All right, number three is, what are you doing that's taking you away from your goals? It would be the same thing. What's taking you away from your goals? You gotta write this stuff down, because you need to learn a couple things in this and in building this business. You need organization and structure. You need a plan. And then you got to find out, what are the things that are holding me back from doing this right now. Write those things out. We all have different schedules. And kudos to those moms out there that are trying to build a business and they have all these toddlers. Kudos to you. I mean, I don't have all of that to stop me. But obviously there's other things if I allow them to. But, there's certain things that you need to do when you have those challenges, you got to figure out how you can make this work for you. Okay, like when I started network marketing, I'm talking to the moms here for a second. When I started network marketing, I had kids at home, and I had to figure it out. And I had a full-time career as a swimsuit designer. I was often away, and when I was there, I wasn't that present. But you know what I did? I was smart enough to sit down with my kids and tell them what our goal is. I sat down with them and just said, we're gonna achieve some big things together, and we're in this together. And we did vision boards together. And I let them know that every time they allowed me to do this, by doing their own little things that they had to do, put their dishes away, grab a snack in the fridge, don't distract mom for those 2 hours so I can focus on my business. These are things that I did. I had to sit down and figure it out. And that's what you need to do. Some things you can literally delegate to family members. My kids had no problem doing the dishes and no problem keeping the place tidy. And my oldest daughter had no problem putting my youngest daughter to bed and, reading her a story, making sure that their homework's done, because they knew that there was a reward at the end. They knew that we'd celebrate together. So every time you set goals, work this with your family so you get all the support you can get. If these are the things that are holding you back, all those little things, being a mom or whatever. Maybe you're a dad that's doing the same things, and kudos to you if you are. But it's to work it and stop making excuses of the things that are holding you back or hiding from your business. Because I'm telling you, if you took network marketing serious, if you took Max International serious, you would do amazing things. And another thing that I say to myself often, if I walk by somebody, I have this self-talk going on all the time. I don't know if you guys have that going on, but I do. I'll walk by somebody and go, Tammy, you need to talk to them. They might be walking a little bit off, or something sharp about them. They look like they're entrepreneurial or whatever. And I have to tell myself to talk to them. And then I do. And I always said, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say no. Big deal, right? It might be a big deal for some of you when you're new, but here's the thing. We're only looking for people that are looking, right? Not everybody's looking. You have to understand that. And if you understand the numbers and you make those connections and you come at it with a sincere posture of genuinely caring about people. I like to find things that I like about people so I can start a conversation. And then I'll go from there. If I notice that I wouldn't walk up to somebody and say, oh my God, I've noticed that you're limping. Are you okay? Like, I wouldn't do that, right? I would start with something nice to talk about that person. And then they may even just open up and tell you that they're having a crappy day, that this happened, and that leads to a conversation, right? So get out there and just make a difference. Get out there and add value to people. And when you do that, it's such a great feeling. You won't make excuses when you just come from a position of heart-centered, genuinely caring about people. You'll do this naturally, okay? If you're thinking about the money and you're thinking about what you can get from them, this is always when people step back and they talk themselves out of it because they're not comfortable doing it, right? So do things that are comfortable to connect with as many people as you can. And number 4, what is one thing that scares you that stops you from moving to your next rank? Because at the end of the day, we're all in business. And the goal is always to get to the next level. So what level are you at right now? And what level do you need to get to? And put a date, always a date. If you have no date to that level of a rank to reach, then it's just pies in the sky. It's not going to happen, right? Because there's no set target. And when you make that set target, then you work on your strategy and the goals. And we're launching this new strategy thanks to Dr. Albert. He started working this new strategy on getting to the core rank. And as I looked at it, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that is so doable. And if everybody does the small things, then you're going to go into momentum once you hit bronze. So it's not going to be this bronze and then you're back to, you know, small ranks. No, if you do this system the right way, you're going to go bronze and above. And all those people that are going to be part of this, doing it with you, you're creating momentum, and then you get them to simply duplicate the core rank. And that's going to get everybody excited and growing in this business. So you need to know the things that scare you, because you got to get rid of those things. The one book that made the biggest difference for me personally in network marketing was called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Her name is Dr. Susan Jeffers. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And I remember newbie in the industry, you know, afraid to talk to strangers, afraid to talk to men. But my goals were so big, and my passion and mission was so big. It was all wrapped around my kids. I just wanted to be home and be a great mom and not have to leave my family every single day to go build a business. And by the time I got home, I was exhausted. So my youngest daughter was raised by daycare. My oldest daughter just went to the daycare because she didn't want to be at home alone. So she would go and help them, actually. So these are, you know, I had a lot of things that scared me. But then with all the mentoring and the coaching and showing up for the training and applying. Don't just show up and learn if you're not going to apply. And you want to apply when it's fresh, new, and you're excited about it, right? So these are the things that I started to do to get out of my comfort zone. But when I read that book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, I literally broke my fears. Because I understood at every single level, there's always going to be something in my head that's going to take me out of the game. And the truth is, I'm creating it. It's not real. It's real because I created it. But what if I recreate that in a positive way to get a result? You can do that too. Right? So I started jumping and going in and going in and going in and going in. And next thing you knew, I'm talking to all these people that I was so afraid to talk to, because I finally realized that I created more fear of something that wasn't real. And when I could have just changed my thought process and move forward and get a result. And that's what happened. That's literally what happened. Everything changed for me. My whole life changed because of this book. And we're always recommending books to everybody, because that's what it takes to break through some of these scary things, and program things too, of worthiness. I mean, look at all the stuff that we've been programmed with as children. We're all programmed to obey and do what we're told. And then we come into entrepreneurship, and now it's like, you know, you're asking people to have a look at things where I was raised not to ask for anything. So imagine that I had to break. There were so many things I had to break, these patterns and stuff that wasn't even mine. It was their beliefs. And I had to learn to let go of other people's beliefs and move towards my goals and dreams. And Chris and I both, we've been doing this for so many years. And so literally nothing stops us today based on all the experiences that we've had. We've broken a lot of fears. And the only thing, honestly, that we need to focus on is nailing down our schedule every day. That requires focus. And when you nail down your schedule and you check off the things that you've done, man, you feel amazing at the end of the day. And I even learned to get up earlier. And I swore I would never get up at these hours in the morning, especially not to work. And I'm doing it now, and I'm more productive earlier then I actually, towards the end of the day, instead of working, I do things for me now. So I changed my schedule, and what a difference in my productivity. Amazing. Sometimes you just got to make those little shifts, and takes a little bit of getting adjusted, get used to. But write down the things, you guys. You got to start writing down things, and then you got to start eliminating this stuff. Because if you don't eliminate it, it's going to consume you, and your whole life is going to go by you, and you never accomplished some of the smallest things in life. But if you can't accomplish the small things, how can you accomplish the big things, right? So it's so important to get all this stuff out of the way and find ways to be productive and make a difference and add value to people's lives. Okay, so the challenge. Do one thing that scares you. We all have things that scare us. Well, I kind of broken all that when it comes to network marketing. Do one thing that scares you and do it in the next 24 hours. One thing, just one. Write it down. What's one thing that scares you? Is it prospecting? Is it getting people to make a decision? Is it inviting somebody to have a look at something? One thing, and nail it today. Based on everything I talked to you about fear, feel the fear and do it anyway. One thing. I'm telling you, when you accomplish that one thing, you'll realize that all that stuff you created in your head was ridiculous. And that's been holding you back for a long time. One thing, you guys, in 24 hours. Do it, share it, tell other people about it, and go do another. I'm telling you, the more you do this every single day with a routine, then you'll get better and better and better and better. And next thing you know, you'll be able to do it with your eyes closed. I always say to everybody, Chris and I can do this with our eyes closed. That's because we've been doing it for a long time. We've done lots of one thing, practice, 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 practice. And that's what it takes to become a great leader in Max. And of course in network marketing, because we have such a phenomenal industry to be in. And I think more and more today, since the pandemic, more and more today, I'm noticing, because Chris and I are constantly talking to new people worldwide, social media, a lot of social media, building relationships, pulling them off the platform with a private message, inviting them to connect on a Zoom session. And that's where we build our relationships. And next thing you know, they're in our business, or they're trying the product because they're not quite sure if the business is for them yet, but they want to get a feel for the product. Because if it works, a lot of people say that if it works, then I'll listen to what you have to say about the business. And we all know it works. It's just a proper follow-up, right? Just a proper follow-up. And make sure you're doing it right. So have a fabulous day, everybody. I really hope you got a little bit of nuggets here and there in this process. And I know that every single one of us need a kick in the butt sometimes. And obviously it's harder to kick our own. So that's why we've been part of this and doing this accountability sessions that we do throughout the day. And people get on the ones that they can. And we're just doing the work, doing the actions. And every single one of us are signing people regularly, whether it's associates or customers. And everybody's saying, since they started being part of the accountability group, which is, we do 15-minute segments. And then what happens after 15 minutes, everybody's like, everybody crams in their time to get the work done, which is good. And that's why we're getting more productivity than ever, is it's like, okay, we got 15 minutes. And then once 15's done, it goes so fast, you're like, oh, who wants to do another 15? And so many people want to do another 15. So we've doubled our growth because of that, our results because of that. So don't try to do this business alone. Team up, have fun with it. You'll break all the fears that'll blow your mind by just taking action and having fun with it. Have a great one.